Hi everyone, Michael here from Custom Bike Fit. Hopefully you can see me in the top left hand corner of the screen. I'm using this new software application today so that I can do some screen capture, and hopefully I'm going to get this right. The reason for this video, and it's about my remote fitting service. So in the last few days I've received a number of inquiries via Facebook and YouTube and also email about my remote fitting service, and a lot of people saying, well, how exactly does that work? And so hence this video. It's really to give you, I'm not going to go through every single step, but after watching this video you should get a better understanding of what it is we do, because it's a collaboration between the client, you, and myself. So a bit of background: I started Custom Bike Fit in 2012, and about a year later I shot my first YouTube video. And after I'd done a few videos, I was contacted by a gentleman in California, and he'd had a retool fit and he wasn't happy with the outcome, and he asked me if I could help him with his fit on his time trial bike. And then once we'd done that, we then went to his road bike. He was happy with the fit we did over the time on the time trial bike, and he asked me to fit him on his road bike. Now, I guess YouTube really took my presence from being local to more national and international, and I get inquiries almost every single day, requests for help, as well as people asking, whether we can engage over video, whatever that might be. So sometimes it's for a fit, and other times it's people want advice on buying a new bike, they want advice on aero bars, they want advice on shoes and cleat position and hydration systems and all sorts of stuff. So I've been fitting remotely now for 6 years, and in that time I've kind of refined the process to make it easier for the client as well as for me. And what I do, whether I'm working with somebody one-on-one in person or whether I'm working with somebody remotely, the first thing I do is I send out a pre-fit questionnaire. So I'm gathering information about the rider, about the type of bike they're riding, about the type of riding they're doing. Are you a road cyclist? Are you a triathlete? If you're a triathlete, what sort of events are you training for? What issues are you having on the bike? Where are you uncomfortable? Have you got any injuries? And where are you today, or where have you come from? Where are you today, and where are you going? So what you can see on the screen here is some actual footage that a client has sent through to me. It's a video. You can see what I've done is I've just hit the freeze frame, and I'm going to leave it like this for the moment. But I ask the clients always to fill out those forms, and then if I'm working with somebody remotely, I ask to start off with just for 2 videos. And the first one is a video overview of the bike. So you can do this, most people do it with a smartphone, an iPhone or Android device. And I want to see the bike. I want to see the seat post, how much seat post is sitting up, how much is left really as well. I want to see the position of the saddle. I want to see the position of the handlebars and the stem, how many spaces are under the stem. I want to have a look at the aero bars, all those sort of things. The things that I would walk around the bike. When the client brings the bike into my studio, I'm having a look at the bike, of course. And then I want to see them riding on the bike. I want to see how they interact with the bike. And this is the first view that they'll ask for, which is side on. And I'll watch the video at real time, real speed, a few times. What's going on with the hips? Is that rider shuffling around? Get an overall picture. How would I be feeling if I was in that position? Because a lot of what I use is empathy. I've been riding a bike for 40 years and I'm nearly 30 years in triathlon. And then what I'll do is I'll start freeze framing the video, and eventually freeze framing, slowing down the video. So watching it at slower and slower speed so I can really analyze what's going on. And then I start freeze framing. And one of the places where I'll freeze frame is at the bottom of the pedal stroke. And then I do these annotations, and often I will then be able to send this sort of stuff, screenshots, to the client. So I'm looking at the position of the foot, for example, at the bottom of the pedal stroke. I'm looking at the extension of the leg, so we call it knee angle extension. So I start joining up dots that I would use, for example, in a retool fit. Okay, the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist. From here I can determine, is the saddle at the right height or is it in the right range? Is it too high? Is it too low? This guy's not far off. I think it's a little bit low. He's riding a little bit on his toes. I would have asked him to send through a picture or some video footage of his cleats. Do we need to move that cleat position? Is he suffering from hot foot, numb toes, burning feet? If he's only doing 20k rides, he might not be experiencing that right now, but down the track, if he's going to go further, absolutely. I'll look at the front of the bike. Okay, what's going on here? Well, this is normal. People always default to the end of the extension. They're always going to put their hand here. But this chap has no skeletal support, so his elbow's sitting here and the pad's sitting here. All right. Now you also notice that the extension is too short. So it's not a matter of, okay, let's lengthen the extensions. They actually need to be changed. Now I know this bike really well, and I've worked on most bikes. This is the thing. And I know, for example, here, this is a flat handlebar. You can see this clamping system, right? These are specific to a giant bike, these aero bar clamps. The extensions can be changed. You can put anything in there. But there's not an awful lot of fore-aft movement in that pad. Never going to get it back here. So I have some fixes. I know of some arm pads that will be able to move further back. Okay, so we might make the suggestion that he try some out. And I can send him some, depending on where he is. Without having this skeletal support here, you will find with most riders over a period of time, so the longer they spend on the bike, they tend to get neck and shoulder pain. So it's a pain at the base of the neck between the shoulder blades because they don't have this skeletal support. And you can see he's stretching. You know, some people can maintain this position if they're supported, but it takes practice. And the extensions here, there's no movement in this clamp. It's fixed. You can't change this angle, so you can't lock him in here. I would suggest changing these extensions. This is like a 35-degree extension. If they were long enough, we could maybe flip them. You know, put this end in here, so this extension sits up higher, kind of locks him into position, brings his hands closer to his face, reduces frontal surface area, reduces drag, will go quicker. Or, you know, we change those extensions, and again, I can send the extensions out. You know, with regards to the saddle, this hip angle here at the top of the pedal stroke is closed off. Why is that? Is it because the saddle's sitting too far back, or does he not want to come anywhere near the front of the saddle? Again, I have test saddles that I can send out. So I'm often putting saddles in the post for clients to try. A lot easier if they're in Australia, not so much if they're overseas, although I have done that. I've sent saddles to Qatar before. But you get the idea. What I do is I analyze the video, then I'll make some suggestions or recommendations. You need to do this, this, and this, A, B, C. Usually no more than 3 changes at a time. To make the changes, for example, to the seat post here, so the saddle height, the saddle fore aft, so moving the saddle back and forth or taking the saddle off and putting another one on, and moving all this stuff at the front of the bike, you need 3 Allen keys, a 4, a 5, a 3, a 4, and a 5 mil. So really easy to do. And, you know, if people aren't familiar with the bike, I'll get on a Skype call with them and talk them through what to do. I like them to make the changes at their own leisure. People get flustered, I think, or I've found, if it's me waiting for them to do something online. So I'll send an email. Sometimes I send links to videos, or I shoot videos. Here, this is how you do this. Have a look. An instructional video. But they'll make some changes. They'll get back on the bike. They'll ride. They'll give me some feedback. Hey, Michael, this is what I'm feeling now. This is so much better. This is, all right. Show me some more footage. Okay, I think we need to do some more tweaking. Let's make this change and that change. It can take a few iterations, normally 2 or 3 is what I find. And that could be a number of days. It could be a week. It could be a couple of weeks, depending on how responsive the client is. But for me to analyze something like this, you look now, this video has been going for less than 10 minutes. For me to analyze the position and make those suggestions doesn't take me an awful long time. I do that, I can then get on with something else, next fit. The client can make the changes at their leisure, and then they send me some more footage, and we go from there. Send me the feedback and more footage. So hopefully that's cleared up some of the questions around how do we do the remote fit. One of the beauties of working with people remotely is that the time to value is immediate. We don't have to wait. You don't have to book in. Oh, I'm going to be on the Sunshine Coast in a month's time, or 2 months, or 3 months. I'm coming for Noosa trial. We can get working immediately. And if you are going to be here down the track, there's no reason why we can't then do what I call a fit optimization in person using the Retool system in that 6 months' time when you come. But why wait, is what I'm saying. And with the current environment and the fact that it's going to become harder and harder to work one-on-one with people, a remote fit makes perfect sense. It means that you can continue riding, that you can, that you're comfortable, that you're not going to get injured, that you're riding efficiently. You're getting, a lot of people are going to be doing power-based training now, so optimize your power, put you in the best condition possible, best place possible for when you do start competing again. And it's a lifeline for me as well, because it means that my business can continue and I can keep doing what I love, which is helping people. So if I can be of assistance, please reach out. The email address is setup@custombikefit.com. Just send me a message via YouTube or Facebook, and hopefully we can work together in the near future. Thank you.